Hello, everyone. Welcome to Logic Church. February 19th, 2022. Today, we will be finding our balance again. Because we all lose it every once in a while. Our show officially starts at 7. I am live right now, waiting for everybody to come in. And we're going to get set up here. If you're watching the show afterward, I will try to leave a stamp in the comment section, so you can click that and you will arrive. And today I'm dressed up as the director of The Truman Show with my backwards hat here and circular sunglasses, or glasses rather. But I'm going to get set up and we will begin. Welcome to Logic Church. And today I'm dressed up as the director of The Truman Show with my okay, audio is good. Couple more things and then we'll begin. First of all, I'd like to extend a cheers to everybody watching now and later on. Cheers to you. Welcome to Logic Church. First of all, there's a lot of craziness right now happening in the world with what is happening in Canada and with what's happening in Ukraine. And all day I was watching different streams on these different topics. And eventually I had to step back. I found that it began to become unhealthy to continue watching. So I stopped watching. And I felt something strange when I stopped watching. It was a feeling of empathylessness. That is, I felt like I had abandoned other people. Because here I am, I'm safe, I'm comfortable and secure in my room, in my neighborhood as I walk around. And I had a nice stroll before the stream, get a little bit of my energy out, grabbed a couple of drinks. Cheers. And I felt resentful about myself for enjoying my life, for enjoying myself. And it wasn't just that there was potential suffering that could happen in the world, in Canada or Ukraine or anywhere really. It was that I know that I am one with everyone, that they are an extension of me as I am them, and we are made through the same energy and matter. But they were suffering, and I sat here powerless, watching, and it occurred to me that I can be more helpful to them by enjoying my life, enjoying my day, where it is that they wish to do so as well, where we are suffering and fighting with each other in order to achieve that, or at least that's the hope, that the goal is that you may enjoy your life unencumbered. So I'd like to invite anybody who's watching to weigh in and let me know how you feel about what's going on in the world today. I'm resizing our chat box a little bit. There we go. Great. So next week I will be doing Logic Church on Friday, 7 p.m. as usual. Today it's a little bit different. And I wanted to talk about how we might find our balance again. Because there's moments in our lives where we do have balance, where we are content and comfortable, and everything seems to be going our way. So how might we find it again? That balance, that harmony, and contentment. Cheers. First of all, it's important that we discover the great power of deconstruction. So what do I mean by deconstruction? It is very simple. When we are able to construct something, whereas we are understanding what something is and categorizing it so that we can capture it and understand it, we are constructing. And that is a useful way of developing knowledge so that we can read a book and learn something. Or we can talk about something and come to an understanding of some kind of idea or conception. And that is very important. But in doing so, we often fail to capture the power of its opposite, which is deconstruction. For example, you might have somebody who is a very bad person in the sense that they might persecute others, call them names, gossip, manipulate, do naughty things, things that are unsavory and uncomfortable to deal with. And in this way, we are constructing them in our mind. We are constructing our understanding of who that person is and what they are. So through the process of construction, we have created the identification of this person. And in doing so, we hold that in our minds. We hold that categorization, that understanding in our minds. And that requires us to exert our energy in doing so and having it in our mind. And holding this negative construction causes us to suffer. Whereas holding constructions that are positive, that build knowing, that build knowledge and understanding, can bring us peace. So your perception is configured, if you will, by these perceptional constructions of what things are. And this can bring us great danger. Grave, grave danger. So it's a matter of taking power over it. And that means to deconstruct the negatives, the negative perceptions and categorizations that we have forced into our minds so that they are attached to the way that we view what is. Ponder that. And I'm going to have a drink. I'm going to quickly share out the link to people. also... Oh, there's one more person. There he is. So cheers to everybody, and we'll continue our discussion of deconstruction. So once we can deconstruct these negative perceptions, then we have discovered a great power through that deconstruction. Because these negative perceptions can guide us down unfavorable paths. So, you may develop a perception of somebody who has been very nasty to you, or very mean, or done wrong to you or someone else. But does it do you any good if you hold on to those negative perceptions of this person? It is like an uncomfortable pressure in your mind that you have this negative perception of someone, perhaps merited. In fact, probably merited. But does it do any good for you to hold that in your mind throughout your day, it coming up in your thoughts, in how you feel throughout the day? No, certainly not. Certainly not at all. So how do we deal with that? First, we must notice that we have a perception that does not serve our well-being. And look at how perceptionally we have categorized this person. Think of the specific actions that this person has taken in that has created these perceptions. And notice them. Notice that you have noticed that you have noticed. Which sounds interesting. It's a little crazy maybe, but it's true. It's true that your mind is functioning like this. And create a separation between your perception and you as a person. That those actions may be directed at you, may be directed at someone else, occurred. And know that that perception of that person does not belong to you in your mind, that those things can be noticed without influencing how you feel and what you think. In that way, though you might be empathetic and feel toward others, that you can create that separation and be free. We want to be free of our capacity to perceive unhindered. We want to take power over our own perception by deconstructing how our mind is categorizing these perceptions. So, you might have to deal with the fact that materially, my body and all that I am is not far from the other, which is you guys, viewers. Which, by the way, if there is anything that you guys would like me to talk about tonight, feel free to drop a comment in the chat. As I come to a close with this discussion, looks like we have a bot. Hello, bot. Hello there. Now, there are other things that you can do as well, which is, even though there is similarity between us, which is a powerful idea, a powerful understanding, that as a self, we have a separation between us and someone else. So we can still, even though it is a powerful idea that we are not dissimilar and substantively we are the same, our separateness, which paradoxically exists, is true. So we can separate ourselves emotionally and perceptionally from others. That's a powerful idea. So we can liberate ourselves from the negative thoughts and behaviors of other people in that regard. And since the source of your suffering is in your empathy, in your attachment to others, whereas somebody who might hurt others does not have empathy. They consider themselves substantively a single individual, completely separate from everything. But those of us who do have empathy, like for example, my little kitty cat got hurt, and I feel bad for my cat. I'm like, oh, are you okay? Like, I feel this cat's pain. But some people feel nothing. And so it's important to understand these things so that you can manage how you feel. And if you are to have empathy for other things and other people, most certainly you should have empathy toward yourself, and how you see things affects your mind and makes you feel bad. Seems simple, but it's complex. I thank the great energy force every day that I have the ability to reason through these difficult things and make being self-content our goal. To be content and fine as we are here now, and that's all we need. And that means also, in finding your contentment, you can then empower yourself, build respect for yourself, for the strength of who you are inside in your mind, by creating your perception, in a sense, taking power over yourself, choosing your actions, and how you feel, and in developing that muscle, that mind muscle, learning to truly respect yourself for how strong you are when others cannot be. And trying not to feel bad that other people really struggle to do the same. It is so that to smile and to be happy as you walk down the street can be souring for others, which means it can create resentment. So, but in recognizing that within you, though you have control over yourself in a way that it brings about contentment, that inside of you is the same capacity to feel and experience all of the things that someone who might be a nasty person could exhibit, could have the power for. So in that, you can paradoxically be sane and separate through understanding that I could be like you and seeking power, control, money, and making life hard for people. But I'm not. But I could be. The potential exists. And in understanding that, you can look at someone's behavior and see it as somewhat in an objective sense, that it's an occurrence that's happening. And instead of it as a connectivity thing. So if somebody has thoughts in their mind that are negative with regard to us, we might feel bad about that, right? Like there is some kind of emotional cognitive connectivity there. But when what is within the mind of that person may not align with what is truly true, that they have a construction and they do not participate in the deconstruction of those constructions. So their constructed perception, when not tested against the metal of truth in reality, if you will, reality, it is a false perception, is it not? And so that's one way to look at those kinds of things and to bring peace of mind and contentment. And to that, I'd like to cheers to everybody watching. Grab yourself a cup of water, some tea, stay hydrated, and I'm gonna cheers to everybody now. Cheers. So if anybody has any topics they would like to discuss, let me know. I have a couple more things I'd like to talk about. Great. So we learn the power of perspective. We learn that the only power that is important is power over yourself. Because what good is power over another person really doing you? Well, it might get you some favor, some money, or something frivolous, something fleeting, something unimportant in reality. But power over yourself, over your perspective, how you look at the world, how you feel about the world, that is a massive amount of power. Because your highest experience that you have in your life is the experience in your own body, in your own mind. Isn't that true? And how that experience is experienced can bring the most good to you and the most comfort to you. So it means that you do not just allow thoughts to circulate or to ruminate, which means thinking of something over and over again. You've thought about it, you're done. You let it go. You let it go away. The attachment to those thoughts and ideas and feelings is what creates the pain, the suffering. And when you have power over yourself and your perception, how you look at things, it creates self-respect and confidence. And in turn, balance, which is the point of the stream. So cheers to that. And people will tell you, think like this. The last thing I mean to do is to tell you how to think or what to think, but that here are some tools. I'm not telling you how you should garden, but that the shovel is a very good tool. The hoe is a very good tool. Have you ever tried any of these electronic tools that do this for you? You don't need a physical tool, kind of a thing. So rather than telling you what to think, I'm teaching you to utilize the tools at your disposal, which is not how to think, but how you could use the tools that are at your disposal in order to achieve such a goal. But if you can achieve that power and control over your own perspective, then it makes you impervious. This is kind of a stoic way of living, where other people, and people who you might categorize as nasty folks, do enjoy perturbing your perspectives. If you can control your perspective, it makes you sort of like a god. Not that you are God, but like a god, in that you have a great power, a great strength that makes you impervious. What a beautiful word, impervious. See, that's another very important thing to notice. Be attentive and open to things of beauty, words, experiences, interesting feelings and thoughts. Your inner experience is the crust. That's where things get exciting. And develop a talent at recognizing the beautiful, recognizing beauty. Because noticing and recognizing beauty makes your inner world more beautiful and more joyful. There appears to be so many ugly things in the world, but they are nothing compared to all the beauty. And in part, one of the main reasons that we fight with each other as humans is because we hyper-focus upon the ugly and not the beautiful, because the beautiful is calming, the beautiful is completing, and it makes life worth living. Imagine you're driving down or up a hill in a car, and you see the mountains emerging. You see the setting sun, the snow on the mountains. You're looking at this. Most people, they just drive and they don't see the beautiful artistry of nature. And they miss out on that. And they're thinking about some fight they had with their spouse, some other silly thing. That doesn't matter. And if we can notice the beauty in things, then it'll bloom inside of us like a flower and stay with us in every moment and each breath. Ooh, okay, to that I cheers. Very, very quiet tonight in the chat. If you guys have any questions, please let me know. I can always come up with another topic, but it's important to me to address, what's going on with you guys this week. What things happened to you, good or bad? And what would you like to know about life, or discuss, or discover? Maybe we can discover something. One thing I'd like to discuss is how I feel about partnerships, relationships and dating, stuff like that. I'm gonna talk about it in a very atypical way you guys might expect. Voom Ong. That's a very difficult comment to answer. Voom Ong. That's very deep. Voom Ong. Not as good as Vom Red. That was the other one. Anyway. I realized over time that my most important relationship is with myself. And in part, I was afraid that if I develop such a strong relationship with myself, oh, hey, Jim, then I was being selfish. I felt it was my responsibility to have a relationship to some degree, that it was a means of completing who I am. And I realized that it is not necessary to have someone to be happy. Thank you, Jim. Once I figure out how to promote people, I'm going to promote you. You deserve a promotion. I'm promoting you to Logic General, if I can figure out how to do that. And I realized that I don't require anything or anyone to be content, and that what was bringing me suffering was my incapacity to be present and also to enjoy the company of someone where it was far too attached to me. And I find that relationships are like that, where it's very tied together. And yeah, well, I gotta hand out these wrenches. Oh, I think I did it. I think I just gave you a wrench. Hopefully I pressed the right button. Oh, I see the wrench. Oh. Our first moderator, Jim McIntosh. Cheers to Jim. Great. So guys in the chat, let me know how your week was. Let me know one good thing that happened, and let me know one bad thing, or what you perceive as bad. Oh, I don't see the link yet. And so in these experiences that I was having with partners, I realized that somebody who wants a partner or feels they need a partner needs another person to be complete is never going to be complete, because they have not noticed and recognized that they are fine and perfect and okay already. Seems simple, but it's not simple, unfortunately. Uh-oh, you had to sign something? Oh, and make sure you read those papers. It's so crazy because I see like the view. I know there's people watching, but like the viewership just drops. But I know there's people out there watching. Nice. What do you mean by allowance? Is that like, are you living in a place where they like give you an allowance or something like that? Actually, I was watching see, I know there's people watching, but it just says one viewer. My buddy Justin's watching, Jim's watching, and then this person right here, Ojasu. Yeah. Yeah, it's all messed up. I know I have like 3 or 4 people watching right now, but it's just, anyway, that's fine. Anyway, let me grab another beer and then I'm gonna read these off and we can talk about these things. If you guys have any major topics you want to discuss, I'd be happy to do those as well. Just a moment. Okay. Oh, the landlord office lady. Does she like control your money or something, Jim? I don't know, I'm kind of confused. So, Ojasu, good. Making lots of progress in my studies. Yeah. What are you studying, man? Still unemployed, and yet another online friend randomly disappeared. Hey, that's why I say you have to find contentment within. You have to learn that you don't need other people to be happy and content. That you are already your best friend and everything that you need. And if you get to enjoy the company or the conversationitude of somebody, then that's fabulous. So, I'm perfectly happy alone. But it's nice to connect with folks like you guys and talk and chill. Because why not? Because we're human beings and we should appreciate and enjoy each other. That's part of the fun. Inside job. I like that. Yeah. To the unemployment comment, you can always, there is an infinite number of jobs out there. You just have to keep applying. Since you're a web developer, maybe you can build something to show off. Or work for yourself and go and do freelance or something like that. Yeah. Oh, they finally decided to give us 2 viewers, even though I'm sure we have at least 4 right now. I'm being oppressed. Ah! Okay. No, it's okay. No big deal. I know you guys are there. Let's see. Yeah, that is not enough. It's like, oh, here's $20. Thanks. Not cool, man. That's true. Isn't that true? Other people cannot make you happy, but they can make you sad. They can. If you're relying on them to be complete, then they're gonna make you sad if you allow another person to be a part of you, because we're flawed. We're imperfect. Now, the goal is to be perfect, to effort yourself towards perfection, always. But if you don't even have that as a goal, if that's not even your trajectory, which it is not for most people, then of course all you will do is create sadness for people. Not cool, not cool. Ooh, Dollar General. Is that like some kind of a dollar store kind of a thing? Dollar General? I love places like that. I love getting a deal, getting a good deal, using my money well. Yeah, hey, Ojasu. I really know how you feel. I do. The corporate world is so nasty, so nasty, so frustrating, really. And the thing is, if you go in and you're like, hey, I'm not gonna be like these guys, they can smell it from a mile away. Well, what's wrong with this person? He has self-respect. He's happy. He doesn't want anything. He doesn't try to manipulate and control other people. See, there I go constructing. There I go constructing again. Makes me think of Rick and Morty. Here I go killing again. Pew pew. You know, here I go constructing again. Not cool. No big deal, because those flaws that they have, I could have too. At least I have the capacity, but I'm wise to the extent that I realize that those things aren't good, and that we have to work together in order to survive, and we have to share and collaborate. And it's not a do or do not do. It is do or chaos ensues. But these people, they thrive in chaos, I guess. They just try to be the one that doesn't get destroyed by it. My favorite line from Game of Thrones is, chaos is a ladder. And it is. But so easily tilted over, to be honest with you. Oh. Help, I'm being oppressed. Yeah. Actually, I might watch that after the stream today. I have that. I would love to stream like actual content, like movies and stuff like that. I have tons of stuff on my computer. But, you know, copyright and all that. I hope they change the laws on copyright. Like after 20 or 30 years, copyright falls off. I do think it should do that, to be honest. So we can enjoy our art that we've created in society and use it as we will. My friend Dick Marks. Ooh, what a badass name. Dick Marks. Whoa. Said he may call at the hour. If I go quiet, I'll be talking with him. No worries, brother. Yes, it's a dollar store. They obviously need the workers. Stock is always on Gonzales in the aisles. Oh, Inode. Oh, you got a job lead. Ojasu. It's cool. Honestly, what I really want is I want a job where I just do nothing. Like, interact with no people. Just like, I like monitoring things. Like the stream, I like monitoring all my little dials and buttons and, you know, just hanging out and talking, or, you know, reading a book or whatever. Actually write all my notes on my little e-ink tablet here. So wholesome. I crossed it out because we finished the main discussion I wish to compose, but I have much more to share. choice. And that's true. That's true. You know, it's a thin line in that people deserve rights, as in people should be mostly left alone and not troubled too much by other people. But, you know, you have the right to say whatever you want to say, and if people don't like it, they have the right to say they don't like it. But affecting people in a financial sense, like, not so cool. I mean, if somebody really sucks and they're a mean person and they're telling mean jokes, then, I mean, like truly mean, right? I mean, I don't know, subjective, right? Then, you know, just don't watch them. And they'll learn that if they make jokes like that, then people don't want to enjoy it. But I guess the trouble is, people who are being canceled or whatever, people actually enjoy them. People actually want to listen to them. And so that's where the outcry comes from, I suppose. I believe in you, Ojasu. You are a web developing machine. Fight, my friend. Fight with all you've got. With all of your heart. Fight. My dream job is, have you guys ever seen Better Call Saul? I'm actually watching it for the third time right now. And, gosh, what's this guy's name? The old white guy with the short beard and the bald head. What's this guy's name? I can't remember his name right now. But he sits there in like that parking booth. He just gets to chill and read a book. You know? That's cool. I like that job. That's nice. And then I wouldn't mind being like a night security guard. I don't know. Like people look down at me. They're like, you got a master's degree. Oh, you got all this work experience. Why don't you just go and do that and make a bunch of money? I'm bored, man. I'm bored. I just want to enjoy my life and chill out. Okay? Because it's going to end. Or it's going to last forever. As in reincarnation or something like that, perhaps. Which is a very real reality, folks, by the way. You might be reincarnated in some form or way, since nothing is created, it only changes form. That's physics. And your consciousness could be a part of that process. And if not, I'm just going to enjoy life while I have the opportunity. I'm not going to slave away 12, 13, 14 hours a day working to try to get rich. My only dream is to live in a trailer, actually. I'm a longtime fan of the Trailer Park Boys, and I would love to live in a trailer park. Let me tell you, people think I'm weird. People think I'm crazy, but I notice that most other people are actually crazy. I'm well constructed. I'm well thought out, so I'm pretty happy with how I feel and think about things. Man, I am so occupied by my own thoughts. I could sit there all night and philosophize I got my little e-reader here. I got tons of books. I just sit there and write note after note after note after realization, after deep wisdom that I've discovered. Yeah, you can get it cheap. And I've always, since I lived in Japan, I have always loved small spaces because I don't own a lot of stuff. Because I mean, if I have something, it's to use it functionally as a tool. So if I'm not actually going to use something, there's really no point in me owning it. You know what I mean? And it's just nice. It's like what I need is right here. You know, I'm hanging out. I'd love to get like an Airstream, live in an Airstream. That would be great. Yeah. And what's really cool is now you can actually borrow books from the library and then have them sent to your tablet. So I don't even have to go to the library. I can borrow books for free from the library. Borrow a couple of books each day, read them on the job. I'm learning, I'm growing, and I'm making some money. It's like, I want a job where I can have fun and where nobody's bothering me and I can make money. You know, to me, it doesn't matter what I do, but, and then in my free time, I make music, which I'd actually like to show to you guys if I can. I'm going to show you guys my new song, and then we're going to go back to another topic. That is not the right address. Wait, isn't it? Okay. Thank you for your patience. Oh yeah, I subscribe to Actman. He's funny. What can I say? Alright, well, this is much slower than it needs to be. Here, maybe I'll just click on my channel. There we go. Wow, I don't know why, but my vocals aren't coming through at all. What the hell? I can't hear it at all. Yeah, it's like there's no vocals on this. Why? Okay, whatever. Let's just go back to the stream. I'll have to download it or something like that. How does that sound? Let him know. That's just how it goes. Woo. All right, that's enough of that. All right. Yeah, so I've been playing the blues for a really long time. Probably about 10 years. Yeah, still a little bit low. But yeah, I've been playing the blues for about 10 years and doing some rock, pop music, and punk, and all kinds of stuff. I was in a band. We are called the Sloshed Monks. Drunk Monks, Sloshed Monks, in Hawaii. And I wrote all the music for that project. And yeah, I left Hawaii, so that unfortunately ended for the time being. But pretty exciting. Oh, I see. I didn't know that was the case. Okay. And so because I was doing that, it was good. And then we went through a bunch of different members. And originally, I was playing with my friend Dylan. It was a two-person group, so it was like a White Stripes kind of a thing. And then Dylan left the island, so and by the way, if you guys want to listen to my band's music, all you have to do is type in Slosh Monks into Google later on, because we're doing a show, and you can check that music out. But then I played with a couple of different sets of folks, and that was pretty good, but I continually ran into situations where I was playing. Actually, I don't know what's going on here. Let me fix this. Oh, now we got our music back. How about that? But I was playing with groups of people, and they just weren't practicing. They weren't practicing the music. And I started to notice, like, you guys are good enough to show up to practice and to sound like you know what you're doing, but then you don't practice. I'm the only one here practicing. I'm the only one who writes the music. Yes. Careful with vaping, by the way. But yeah, so I was playing with these guys. The girl who was on the drums, she was like doing cocaine, and I didn't find out until she came over to my place and we were hanging out and talking, and she just pulls out a bunch of coke and she starts snorting. I'm like, oh, she's like, oh, you want some? I'm like, the fuck? That explains a lot. You're doing coke, you're not practicing. And the guy who was playing bass for me, he, oh boy, I learned very quickly he was a hardcore alcoholic. He was drinking beers like nobody's business. And I'm not talking about normal beers, man. This guy was heavy on the Bud, heavy on the Budweiser. And he was sipping those down like nobody's business, And it became a really big problem. I mean, it was great because I was getting free beers. We'd go into play, and he'd just be like, hey, you want a beer? Hey, you want another beer? Hey, you want another beer? I'm like, Jesus Christ, you're an alcoholic. That explains why you're not showing up to practice and knowing what you're doing. Cheers to that. But anyway, so that was one experience. And then I started playing with a friend of mine. His name's Jeff. And he is spectacular. He's a very talented man. In fact, I'm going to pull some of that up so you guys can check it out. He's very good. So I'm going to play it on my Google Chrome so we can keep our badass background. And let me know about the sound. If it doesn't sound good, we'll fix that. We'll fix it. But this was the last time. Ooh, it does not sound good. Why? Why doesn't that sound good? Let me know if that sounded bad to you guys like it did to me. I don't know. Because there's no reason why that shouldn't play without any issues. Yeah. I don't know. Very strange. The thing with alcoholics is that at least they just want to have fun. But it depends how far along somebody is. You always want to be careful with stuff. If it's making your life bad, because eventually you're going to get liver damage, right? Cool. No, for some reason, I'm going to have to import everything because I'm playing off of my SoundCloud and it just won't go. Ooh, see? Nasty. There's no reason why that shouldn't allow me to do that. Let's see here. But what I can do is I can open Google Chrome and I can go to my YouTube channel. Yeah, but we had that issue before, so maybe it's just maybe it is an issue with Google Chrome. So let me open a new window. There we go. So that's how I'll do it. We learning as we go. Trying to entertain the peeps, trying to share my artwork with everybody. Okay. So I'm going to share what I came to share. Here we go. This should work. Weird. If I try to play anything besides the main track, maybe I have to pause it. Maybe that's a problem. Let's see if this works now. No, everything else sounds muddy. Okay. Why? I hate you, Streamlab. You're ruining my stream. Streamlabs are ruining my stream. Because look, listen, this works. But any other video I play doesn't work. Why? Am I blacklisted or something? I don't know.
Here we go.
I kind of have to know now. I want to see like what's going on here. Alright, we're doing good now. Hey! Oh no, it's still not playing. It's still not playing my vocals. What? I don't know how to feel about this. Alright, well.
The coward dies 1,000 deaths. The courageous man arose.
Alright, well. That's pretty sad that I can't play anything else live at all. So we'll have to figure that out. Alright, well. I'm going to get into another topic then. I was overtaken by my endeavor to create beauty, but perhaps also kind of annoying for the viewers, so I apologize for that. So the main point of the stream was to encourage people to avoid letting other people make them feel bad, because it doesn't matter what is going on in other people's minds. It only matters what's going on in yours. Because because that is all you can control. And it is the only epicenter of power that you have. And if you do have power over your own mind, then you are powerful. And that's all I hope, is that we can become powerful. I feel a great concern in the air, and this is like something that you tend to feel before something bad happens, with the Ukraine thing, perhaps because I've been watching that all day. But you can feel the emotions in the air, the feelings in the air, how people are dealing with what's going on. And to that I say, before I actually started to care about politics and what was happening in the world, I never watched TV or really cared about any of this stuff. And I felt pretty good. And I didn't let things get to me at all. And so, at the end of the day, all we can really live is our own lives. And so that's what we should endeavor to do. And, because we hope so, that we can be free, as in that we hope nothing gets in our way, that we can behave and we can do things that we want to do. Every once in a while, it requires us to stand up for that value. And so, when forced into a situation, maybe you do have to stand up for yourself. But we should know first and foremost that our life is our responsibility, and our contentness is our responsibility. And so we should embrace that, live that, and put that at the front. Because what gives people power, what gives people control, is us thinking that our lives are connected with those people who have that power and control, which requires us to imagine that they do have that. If you refuse to accept that someone has power and control, they do not, because it is merely a palace of mirrors. Having paper, money, doesn't give you power. Having a title or position doesn't give you power. What gives you power is non-attachment and peace of mind. The only power that exists is personal power, not power in the sense that you can control people, because you can't control people. You can toy with, manipulate slightly people to some degree, but it just creates chaos, because deep in us is that deep-seated desire to be free, and we will be, because that's there and you can never extinguish it. It reminds me of a scene from 1984 where the protagonist is being tortured. Not cool. Not cool, man. And they're talking about what is power and so forth. And the protagonist tells this evildoer, you will never win, because you can never extinguish the flame of the human spirit. And that is true. That is true. Very true. On that note, I'll be right back. I'm going to have a 5-minute break here. I managed to shoo everybody away with my shenanigans, but we'll be back. We have more philosophy, so I'll be back after that. You guys hang tight. Alright, well, we are back. Okay. I'm going to turn this down a tiny bit. There we go. Cheers to everybody who came to Logic Church tonight, who had a peek, maybe. Wanted to see what was going on here. This is a philosophy channel, and also an art channel, because I believe the most valuable and important things in life are philosophy and art. And I don't think that you can beat it. It's free. Art is free. Philosophy is free. And it has the most power in the universe, I believe. So to that, cheers. So I've been thinking a lot about how important vegetables are. Vegetables, really. Like, I feel the most happy when I have a lot of vegetables to eat. Is that crazy? Because I notice the best thing I can really do to take care of myself and my body is to put things in it that are good for it. That means natural things, like vegetables, things that naturally grow, not anything that needs to be made in the sense like bread. If you think about it, how long has bread been in the human diet? Whereas natural vegetables have been in the human diet for millennia. And protein and vegetables are really what the body needs. And the more that you have, the better. I think so. So, you're walking around the grocery store. You're trying to figure out, what should I eat? Well, you're going to want to eat a lot of veggies. You know what I really want to eat right now? Squid. Squid. I want to eat some squid so bad. Squid sounds really good. That's really too bad that it's not letting me play other videos and audio. Breaks my little heart. Breaks my little heart. That's okay though. Hey, let's deconstruct that. I'll fix it, and then on another stream we'll show some art another time. Great. So, I wanted to talk about how life doesn't need to be as complicated as we make it. Ooh, nice. Hey, bread is delicious, man. It is. It's great. Our bodies just weren't made to eat a lot of it. Eat a whole loaf. You know, it's a lot of bread. But, yeah. So life doesn't need to be as complicated as we make it. And it's quite frustrating how much time we spend playing the human game. I think I spent so many years of my life in schools, you know? And I just don't feel that a lot of that time that I spent was really useful for me or really made an impact. I feel like I was fooled, or well, not fooled, but young people don't really have much of a recourse if they're not being guided by an elder. So they go to school to be guided by an elder. But what we really need is we need to find something that we can do that makes something, provides some kind of value to the world and the people in it, so that we can cooperate and live together, right? I love how my stream has one viewer, but I know there's more people watching. It's crazy. So weird. So, what we really need is to improve ourselves. But to a large degree, that manner in which we improve ourselves really needs to come from us. I mean, we have to improve ourselves in a unique way that is only us, that aligns with who we are and what is important to us. And schools really do make cookie cutter people. And you should be trying to be your best self and learn skills and things that you can do to help people. And that's where you will be able to survive, not necessarily by getting a piece of paper that says you know how to pass exams. Yeah, like really make something, Oh, we got a bot. Hello, bot. Jim, if you're there, get rid of the bot. I feel Jim's power with his wrench coming down upon that bot right now. Well, cheers to the bot. I just added Ojasu as a moderator. So, I just want to say that, we get all caught up in stuff. I've always been disturbed by the fact that the course of my life, I believed while I was a student, was that it was somewhat of a competition between me and the other students in the class, and I wasn't about to lose, so I worked very hard so that I would be the victor. But did being the victor make a difference in my life? No. Oh, nice job, Ojasu. Yes, I chose the right man. I gave the right man a wrench. But did them being the loser in the situation change their life? Maybe no. Did this really matter? And it is that our education systems don't really matter, in the sense that the capitalist corporate world doesn't reflect upon what really happens in the education system. So, you're not going to be hired for a job because you got better grades. You're not going to not be hired for a job just because you got bad grades. It's whether an employer really believes that you are going to help them make money or not, and whether they want to be around you. They like who you are. People hire their friends that can do stuff. Truthfully, that's what this really is. And it's almost like they train us to tear each other to shreds. We're gonna put young people in schools so they can beat the living crap out of each other for no reason at all, because it won't matter. It won't allow them to get a job or not. And maybe we'll wean out some of the people who fail out, who give up. I can't even begin. I think the whole point of colleges and educational institutions at the beginning probably had something good in mind, but they don't really do anything. Which is really sad. You'd think the guy with the master's degree would be able to do something with it. It really wouldn't matter what the master's degree was in. It comes down to just people liking you. Yeah, or it's much more complex. So it's somebody feeling like they can control you even. So at some point in the last job that I had the opportunity to choose somebody who would be my kohai, my below person, if you will. And I just found myself thinking, if I choose this person, are they going to be like trouble for me? Are they going to do the things that I need them to do? And will they be able to do the things that I need them to do? You know, like, can they do it? You know, and that's the stuff that people think about, right? So, you know, maybe your education gets you in the room. Maybe. But at the end of the day, it's just about who do you want to do stuff with? You know? And that's what this is all about. Cheers. So this idea that we have of there is a society, like a functioning organism, a society, and we were all participating and doing things in it and building up and doing hierarchical things. I just don't think that really exists. It's just people that might like people doing stuff with people. And then, you know, at the higher levels, it really comes down to money, you know. It really does. And it's important to know, first of all, that it's fine that this undescribable, ununderstandable, interesting word. Is that a word? I don't know. Maybe I invented it. But they're all trying, like really, we're just trying to do something, because the frailties that you have are the same frailties that anyone has. And we just don't know what we're doing. So, don't get distressed. Don't get distressed about it. It's a weird thing that we're doing. And it's new. Humanity has not been doing society for very long. And when we started, we were doing human sacrifice. Yeah, we started with human sacrifice and weird mysticism and stuff like that. Well, not started. I mean, actually, I have to say, I think originally our societies were very highly influenced by psychedelics, and we were much more spiritual. I do find that a spiritual society has much more balance than a materialist society. Much more binding, much more peace of mind. To that I cheers. So let me expound. So originally, in tribal cultures, they were very influenced by spirituality. Of course, there's a dark side of that, where you have, you know, like the Aztecs and the human sacrifice and things like that. That's the dark side. It's always a spectrum of dark to light, in the sense that there's this duality to life and things. But on the positive side, if you will, for the sake of discussion, positive, negative. On the positive side, when it comes to these tribal societies and cultures, the positive side was very good. You had collaboration among the community, you had cohesion, you had something for people to unify around, you had rites of passage for men and women. There were clear things that needed to be accomplished, like gathering food, hunting for meat, and so forth, creating artistry, creating clothes, and so forth. The needs of the people were clear. And that was around people's spirituality with connection to nature, with connection to their environment, where they lived. They knew who they were. They knew what they were, and they knew that one day they would cease to exist within the body that they incumbent, and they would return to where they were before they were born. Very important, because these things are very important to understand. Now, you imagine modern society, people living in the culture that we are. We're worried about how we look. We're worried about how much money we make, and all these material things that hyper focused upon material obtaination. And it's just very unhealthy. Imagine you are back in time in one of these villages where they have a very healthy spiritual connection. They have a very healthy connection with their environment and their surroundings and with their community and what they're doing with their behavior. Am I gathering food? Am I hunting? Is my job to protect the village? Is my job to protect the people around me? They had true community, true connection. Thank you, Mickey. I'm glad Mickey Farley could make it. Actually, it is a great honor that the great Mickey Farley, because I've actually not seen Mickey Farley in a stream before. Mickey Farley, if you have something you'd like me to talk about, I'd be happy to talk about it. What is your definition of logic? Ooh, that's a great question. That's a really good one. Well, first of all, I'd like to cheers to Mickey Farley for being here. And by the way, Mickey Farley, we should have a party. Where Mickey Farley comes into the stream and we just get to hang out with Mickey Farley. So Mickey Farley, I invite you to that. But that's a great question. What is your definition of logic? That is great. So, logic is understanding the capacity that we have to think through things and to discover truth. So this is my definition, because I live in my own mind and in my own life, and only my definition can be useful to me. That it is using reason, and reason means looking at things and understanding that there are fallacious ways of perceiving reality that might skew what is true. So it is an effort to reach what is true, and you can only do that through being critical, that is, considering fallacies when you're looking at things, looking at evidence, many examples, and also, to some degree, this is a fallacy, so experience fallacy. I do think that we have to consider our own experience very deeply in what is happening, because our experience does teach us philosophically, so I think it's very important to do that. So Mickey, go ahead and retort. Let me know if any of that doesn't make any sense to you, or if there's something that you want to know about more. But really what it is thinking about things instead of just going about your business. Like thinking about it and trying to understand it. Looking at the evidence. Looking at things that seem obscure and wrong. Using reason. Hopefully that helps. But I do cheers to Mickey Farley. Thank you for coming, Mickey. You are a legend, by the way, in our community. And I like watching your math videos. Cheers. Cool. And Mickey Farley still needs to create some music for me so I can listen to it. Hey, if you do some keyboard work or something like that, I'd be happy to do some vocals over it or something like that. Maybe some guitar. So go ahead and make it. It's all about art, man. I want to see your art. And if anybody has any other questions, things they'd like to discuss, feel free to drop those in the chat. Any questions. They can be the deepest questions or shallow. That's fine. Deep, shallow, it's all good to me. I'm just happy to hang out with people and talk about stuff. But in the meantime, I think I was talking about tribal society. It was an interruption by Mickey, but that's okay because I care about the people that are watching and I want to know what you guys think and talk about what you think. So, Veritasium downwind faster than the wind car. Cool. Right on, Mickey. That's great. Looking forward to that video and some music, dude. Make it, man. I want to check it out. Yeah, Mickey. I like you, man. I think you're cool. So I mean, I hope you feel that as you're listening to me talk right now, and you understand. Like I appreciate you. You have a unique perspective. You have a unique mind, different from other people I meet. So I appreciate that. Great. I was talking about ancient tribes for a moment. Yeah, so, these societies, they would use psychedelics quite often. These older societies, you would have a shaman who would live on the outside of a village or a community. And their job, which was a very understandable job, somebody annihilate that bot, but you would have these societies. I'll get back to the comments in a moment after I finish my discussion here. Mickey, I appreciate the comments. But you would have the shaman, and his job or her job, it really could be a man or a woman, was to try out the plants and their properties. Like, this was the first doctor. The shaman was the first philosopher. Because once you take psychedelics, you can realize that it's possible to distort your way and the manner in which you perceive things in general. So if you can distort that, then maybe the way that we see things is not necessarily as they are. That's a very important understanding. Sorry, is this like a bad thing? I accidentally did that. This is okay to me. Okay. But yeah, and they would try out all the plants. Like, this is a safe fruit to eat. This is a safe vegetable to eat. And they would help the village through doing things like that. That was originally the idea behind it, because somebody had to be courageous enough to try the plants. And then they started to notice, some of these plants, they have this effect where they disturb your perceptual vision of reality in a certain sense, but like reality, right? So they were actually a great tool for the tribe at creating visions and stuff like that, which further reinforced the spirituality of the village, which, if used in the right way, is very positive. But of course, like if you look at the Aztecs, they were using psychedelics and they were sacrificing people, which is obviously bad. So you can see, like, it doesn't matter what we create. Like, there's going to be people who take it the bad way, people who take it the good way. They can use it to create enlightenment, or they can use it to create chaos and destruction. Always depends on us. But at least I would say that on the light side of things, over here, light side of the spiritual community, they were much more connected. They were much more organized in the sense that they had a real pattern to what they were doing. Okay, you're a kid, this is what you do. All right, these are the things that we can do in our village. You need to try to do these things. What are you going to do? Are you going to gather? Are you going to create clothing out of animal skin? Are you going to hunt? Are you going to be a great hunter? What are you going to do? There's this set, somewhat limitation of things that people can do. And that's actually something that's really good for people. I'll continue this. I'm going to check out the comments because I want to see what Mickey Farley said here. The Veritasium video was a bit contrived, okay? Since it was already proved that a turbine wind-powered car can travel downwind faster than the wind. It also can travel upwind. Huh. That's interesting. I look forward to that. That is interesting. So turbine-powered car is what you're talking about. Interesting. Cheers, guys. Great. All right, well, I'd like to talk a little bit more about this topic, because I really believe that, and I really want to be clear about this, that there's very obviously a dark, bad side of spirituality. So you have the devil, Satan, if you will, and then you have Jesus and God in the Christian sense, if you will. But these are archetypes. So these are archetypes of the potentialities here. And these archetypes are somewhat repeated across things, but in essence, they have emotional aptitudes and emotional connotations to them, which is that on one side you have the very healthy. Actually, I think healthy and unhealthy are better categorical descriptions of how someone might behave, what society might be, and we want to be the healthy. So the question is there a healthy modern society that people can live in. And I don't think that's possible as long as money and having and lust and greed and all these things are put at the forefront. It's just not possible. We would be the evil side. We're probably on the evil side of things right now in history of what is good. And it's also true to say that, in a sense, society has to appeal and deal with the most low of human expression and human deficiency, which is that some people have hyper attachment to the material world, have great desire for greed and, lust and sexuality and so forth. And that, can we have a society where those things are not exemplified? Can we have that? Where wisdom, philosophy, and virtue are at the forefront of things? Is that possible? Can we do that? Can we do that? Modernly, it's really hard to say, because I think the virtuous and good thing to do is probably much older and much more primitive than what we're doing right now, in the sense that what is good is natural. What is virtuous really is natural, because in our hearts and in our minds, we actually do feel good when we do good, and when we are good to people, generally speaking. Like when you are a good Samaritan and you do something that's good for somebody, help somebody out, you feel great. Most of us do. When you smile at someone, when you treat someone well, you feel good. And you should. When somebody's good to you, you feel good. When somebody says something nice, hey, I like your hair. Hey, that's a cool shirt. You know what I mean? These are very old things. These are very old feelings. These are things that have existed for millennia, as long as humans have been, that we know that those things are good. And those exist outside of society as it appears now. Those things fulfill us and bring us peace, and have for a very long time. It's not a new thing. It's not something that just happened now. We've always had these capacities, mentally and emotionally, as long as we have been. And those things have not changed. They have not changed. They've always been. And those will always be, because they're right, because they're true, they're good. And no kind of society that anybody creates is going to perturb that. They will always be, and will always continue to be. Cheers to that. And that being the point, that should bring you great peace. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what people try to create. Oh, we got another bot. Snipe that bot. Pew, pew, pew. So, it doesn't matter what people create or how people organize things, because at our core, we are what we should be. Nice. Hey, I'm gonna grab one more beer. Be right back. You guys are great. And I'm having a lot of fun. And I'll be right back. Ojasu! Yeah! That bot just got Ojasu'd right now. Cool. You know, I feel like there's more I could say on the topic I was discussing, but there's something else I'd like to talk about instead. I truly love Quentin Tarantino films, and I want to get deep about that. But first, we're going to crack this third beer, and I'm going to cheers to everybody. Cool. And I got a nice Powerade for later. Oh yeah. Electrolytes. Electrolytes. It has electrolytes. It has what the body needs. You guys ever seen Idiocracy? Okay. Yeah, Quentin Tarantino. Quentin Tarantino is very clearly the best artist of our time, without any question. Without any question. And it is unimaginable that Quentin Tarantino has been able to make the films that he has and done the things that he did. And there is a lot of violence in Quentin Tarantino films. That's true. And that kind of makes me wonder why I like his films when there really is